Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Build, Break, and Fix. We are the raw coders from Melbourne, team of developers from Melbourne. On this stream, we work on coding on one particular coding project, usually the Scrumble enhancement project. But today we have a guest with us, the worst dev, otherwise known as Torey Littlefield, who's going to be joining us today to work on React app. Torey, do you want to introduce yourself, or you have anything else to add?
Sure. So we're definitely not going to learn anything today. And whatever I do, just do the opposite.
Nice,
But yeah. So the goal is to create a like a real-time chat app in React.
Mhm.
So hopefully we have an hour. Probably not going to get it done, but let's give it a shot.
Cool. Yeah, can you get started? Yeah, do you want to share screen, Tori? And kick things
I
off.
will do that. All right. Go here, share the screen. Yeah, whatever. I don't have a second monitor set up at the moment.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Oops. All right.
We can see
Let me
screen.
know.
Oh, just before we do that, Tori, we usually do the acknowledgement of the country, so I'll just run that recording real quick as
Sounds
well.
great.
I begin today by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather today, and pay my respects to their elders past, present, and future. I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here today.
Awesome. All right, Tori.
All right. So like I did this like I don't know, a couple of weeks ago.
Mhm.
So this app is hosted on Vercel, which if you're not familiar with it, it's Next.js, which is basically just another framework that's built on top of React.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
and we can also just do this in pure React, which is fine. But
Mhm.
if I'll share this link.
Yeah.
Let me go back here. There we go. Yeah, second monitor helps.
Yeah,
So
man, for sure.
I put that in the private chat, but I don't really care if people want to go in there and do whatever they want.
So
Um,
is this already working for you?
yeah, try the link, and then
Okay.
I will send you a message.
Okay.
Let me know when you're in.
Yep, I'm in.
Did you
Oh,
get a
yeah, I did.
All right. Yeah,
Nice.
and I mean, if you send one back, you're gonna see it. I'm gonna see it. But
Okay, let me see.
and this is using a service called Pusher, which may be called like it's part of a company called Sendbird, I think. There you go, MessageBird company.
Nice.
So this is basically what's handling the like this pub sub subscriber, and this is totally free. They have a free tier, um, and it's pretty easy to set up. And we don't need a server because we can of course deploy it in pure React, but you're going to be exposing some stuff. So like that's one way of doing it. The other way would be to just use something like Next.js or
Mhm.
AWS Lambdas or like Netlify serverless functions. Those are all pretty easy, and that way like you don't like expose the like the secret keys
Mm,
on
okay.
the front end. So like for demonstration purposes, I don't think it matters. But
Yeah.
like I built this in Next, and then I can show you here in with first cell, like it's just super easy to set up. You have this API folder that's just baked into Next, and whatever you put in here is going to be deployed as a serverless function. So like you see here, there's this handler, right?
Yeah.
So this is your serverless function, and this is just grabbing those API keys and not exposing them.
Okay.
And then on the front end, oh, it's under pages, right? It's just working in React. So on the front end, all we have to do basically is create this new pusher object, and then we're just subscribing to our message channel.
Okay. Yep, I see.
And that's kind of it. Like that's the soup. Then you're done, and then you just push this to production, right?
Yeah.
And then you profit, right? You profit.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, did you want to build on this today? Or, did you had another idea in mind?
Well, if you want, I can build it, or I think it would be more fun if you try to build it. And I can just try to talk you through it. Unless you feel like I'm totally uncomfortable writing React on this live stream today.
Yeah, I'm very scratchy in it at the moment. But I did build something last year, actually. I'll quickly show you.
Cool. Well, yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. Like, honestly, like I can walk you through it.
Okay.
I think it would be more fun for you, but if you don't want to do it, I'll do it.
So yeah, this is what me and another dev, we built this last year.
Oh, that looks great. That looks nice.
So this is all like Bootstrap, but it's in React, as you can see the thing. But yeah, essentially Bootstrap. And then basically it's just, the idea is like it's meant to be like a social media sort of platform.
Yeah.
And then like, these are the posts, and you would either choose.
Oh, cool. Wow. That's nice.
Agree, disagree. And then you would have a reply, you can add a comment. And if you chose I agree, it will show you. If you chose I disagree, it'll show you. So yeah, it was a bit of work that went into it, but yeah, really enjoyed this project.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that looks like a really good project.
Thanks, man.
You guys must put some time into that for sure.
Yeah, we definitely did.
So if you built this, then you should be all good to go.
All right, maybe, yeah, okay. All right, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
But yeah, just know I haven't touched it in a while.
Whatever, it'll come back to you. This looks like a really good app. Oh, and you have it hosted on your own URL. That's cool.
We have it hosted on GCP.
Nice.
And essentially for that database, we used Firebase.
Firebase, yeah. I've never used it myself, but like, it seems like a really nice way to throw up an app really quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
The other thing too, that's like, I almost built this chat app actually using Firebase, but I was too lazy to touch it because I was like, nah, I'm not gonna learn Firebase right now. But like, if you do know Firebase, like this would be really easy because they have Firebase has a real-time database, so like you can use it for like real-time applications.
Okay. Okay, that's pretty cool. Actually, that comes to mind. Like, I was looking into that a little bit as well, because actually, I think Google they bought Firebase from like another company,
Oh,
and
did
then
they? Okay.
yeah, they just integrated into their own. Um, but yeah, Firebase is really easy, man. Like if you wanted to learn it, it's definitely like something that's not too hard at all.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't like. Yeah, maybe someday.
Mhm.
I'm like more focused on like learning AWS or GCP. I think the company that I'm interviewing for uses Google Cloud, so
I see. Okay.
whatever whatever pays.
True. True.
But yeah, for like your own projects, or if you were actually like trying to bootstrap some app that you wanted to monetize, like, or just make your own project that you're not monetizing, like, I think that's really a good service to use. I've heard like a lot of
Mhm.
developers really like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Firebase is part of GCP now, anyway. So it's like you essentially like can learn it and still like very valuable.
I
I think.
see. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's like Google Cloud's version of what's the Amplify in some sense.
Uh, is Amplify just a DB or like?
Amplify is like a, a like a more, I don't want to say more simple version. I don't know. I'm not the expert to speak on it, but like you have Elastic Beanstalk and you have like to create apps on AWS really quickly, and then you have Amplify to create like apps and SPAs like super fast with authentication. I think it comes by default with DynamoDB
Mhm.
authentication, through AWS Incognito, and you can use like GraphQL, I believe, which is AppSync. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, like I haven't touched it like to build something other than like a tutorial, but like I really want to like try to work with it. You know who really likes it too
Mhm.
is oh, I'm blanking on the name. What's his name? Matt Coles. You had him
Matt
on the show.
calls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to look into that as well. Um, just out of curiosity. Um,
All right. We got. We're running out of time, so
True. So I'll just create a new folder there. Are we using create React app?
if you want, like, the easier way is to just throw this up in Vercel, like using Next, but which is like hardly different than React at all.
Mhm.
Or we can do create React app. And yeah, like I think it's easier just use create React app and then just like expose the keys. It doesn't matter. And then just like it's on your pusher account anyways, so I'm not really concerned if they call you up.
Who's gonna call me? The pusher.
Yeah, they're gonna say, "What have you done with the API? We're gonna bill you."
Oh, I see. Okay.
But yeah, I would just take down the keys after the show.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll do that. All right, Torey. What do I have to do first?
So MPX, create React app. And you're done. That's it. That's all you need to do.
That's it. Everything is
Um,
built for you.
so, oh wow, is that done? That's fast. Nice. Okay, so, um, You can CD into there if you're not already, or whatever. Oh, okay. I wasn't reading your screen. So yeah, you just need to npx create React app and then just give it a name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My bad. Yeah, and like maybe in the future, like if we wanted to, we could add some serverless functions on with like Netlify, because that's like free, easy, awesome place to host. And then like you can just like hide the you know the API keys and the serverless functions, which is free. It's awesome. Like Netlify is awesome. So is Vercel. So while this is downloading, if you haven't already, I would go ahead to Pusher and like just create an account and get some API. Get a, I forget what they call it, but like basically you're just getting some keys, some credentials.
Okay.
Oh, not a developer, doesn't use GitHub.
I'm just so used to Google, it's just like easy. Cool.
Probably safer. I'm always like, should I sign up for this using GitHub? Probably not.
Beams, platform building silver.
So the thing you want to create is a channel.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Get it started, and then just give it a name. Let me pull a Zane here and get real close to the screen. Yeah, that looks good.
Cool.
Like I said, it's pretty simple.
We don't have a backend in this, do we?
No, I would just choose Node.
Cool.
All right. So, that first part that says like JavaScript, like that's all you really need is this like pub sub thing. I like showed you that. So like, yeah, you can just grab it without the HTML. You're not going to need that. All right. And then this like that other pusher. This is like the Node event. This is for Node.js. This is for like the events. So this is like what you would put in like your serverless application. So like, I mean, the one way to do this is like, it can be done. It can't, like, if you're just like local hosting it, I think this should maybe work, but I haven't tried. The other thing is like just like throwing this in like a super dumb Express app, like locally, and then you're just like talking to yourself. But like, yeah.
All right. So I don't really need this for now, right?
Yeah, we don't need that for now. But it's like, yeah, it's not gonna work without some sort of server. But like, let's just like build like what we need for the React app, which really like shouldn't be that much.
Okay, cool. Just get back to this.
And then we can just like worry about the crappy server later. But like, yeah, I mean, all you need is like a server in Express with like 10 lines of code, probably.
Sweet. All right. Just steal the code from our Scrambler project.
Sure. All right. Yeah. So let's just clean out all that boilerplate.
We don't need any of this.
Just delete everything from class name, app, and below. Like keep the app,
Okay.
whatever. Yeah. There you go. There. And then like if we want to be very lazy about this, like because we're pressed for time, then like let's just do everything inside of the app.
Okay. Sure thing.
So you can probably think about what we need, but like really all we need is like we need like just some really basic HTML in here, which is just like input like to send messages. So like you can even do like an input with a button and a form.
Okay.
Probably.
Oh, like in a form.
You don't really need the form, but like I don't know, like that's more semantic, I guess.
I'll steal some code from W3 schools, I think.
There's like a nice library too for React. Like if we have time, we could spice up the components a bit. It's called Chakra UI, and it's really nice and it's really easy.
Okay.
No offense to W3 schools, but it's probably a little nicer.
Yeah, cool. We totally can. Yeah, there's some cool stuff for. Yeah, no, I'm just copying and pasting. That's what we do on the stream.
That's what we do. I believe that's like half of what I do, anyways. I'm like, I don't have the answer, but the internet does.
Yeah.
Why is it angry?
Oh, I remember this. Like.
Oh yeah, right. There you go. Cool. And just make the so we need make the button type submit. So set the type attribute to submit. All right. And now like all we need is maybe another like section container above the form, like to like display our messages that we're sending and receiving.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then we'll have like the perfect UI completed. Have you ever seen that joke? Like, what does a developer bird say?
No.
Div.
I think I get that.
Div. Yeah.
How do we display this again? It's
just npm start. That's it.
Okay. Nice.
Tomorrow I have an interview at 6 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
6 a.m. our time?
Well, my time.
Your time, okay. How are you feeling for it? Good?
I'm pretty pumped, like, because, like, I signed an NDA, so I can't talk about it too much, but, like, they sent me some information about what we'll be doing tomorrow, and then I was like, nice.
Nice. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, because otherwise I was, like, so anxious. What are we going to be doing? What are we going to do with this time? And that makes me worried, like, when I don't know.
Yeah, fair. Yeah,
Wow,
when you know...
that's looking good. Wow, and it's centered on the page. Unbelievable.
Yeah, maybe we add a label.
Yeah. Yeah, make it look nice. Come on, add a label. This is a label. Wow.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
that's dope. All right. Like, so the next thing we just need to do is hook up some state to this form. And in React, like you probably remember, like we have like the modern way of doing it is like these functional components, and we use hooks. So like the two hooks, really all we need for this app. I think maybe we could use a ref, but I don't think so. All we need is like use state hook and a use effect hook. So like just import those from React at the top, or you can just write. Well, we don't have React imported. Another way is you can just write like React.use state.
Oh, okay. Do we have to import React first? Is that correct?
Actually, you don't anymore. But like since we're using those hooks, like you do have to import those. Okay. But yeah, you don't have to import React anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's nice. Just like less typing.
Yeah, cool. So is it use state and use effect?
You got it. And then it's from React. Import from React. Lowercase. In quotes.
I see. Cool.
There you go. All right, and then so do you remember like how we use hooks? Like there's some rules of hooks.
Very briefly.
Okay, so like so with hooks, you're always going like one of the rules is like you always need to define it above that return method and inside of your function. But they can't be inside the return scope. The other thing too is like we're not gonna like deal with it, but like you don't put them inside of like conditionals. And there's probably like some other rules to using hooks too, but like those are like the two basic rules. So like above the return but inside of the function app, we can write the use state hook. So yeah, and that's a function. That's a function. Yeah, so just call it like, and the way we write it actually too is what you can write. I would just write const and then declare it as a const, and then it's a destructured array with, or is it not a object? It's a destructured array. So brackets. Yeah, this is the convention, and then the first item in that array is always our state. So that's the current state of this use state hook. Like, so And the second item in the array is our set state, which is a function, and that's how we set the state.
Okay.
And no, and then set it equal to use state hook. So just write equals use state. Use state. Call it. There you go. And then change the first one to state. Just state.
Oh, yeah. We can actually name this whatever we want, right?
That's right. So like if you go in the documentation, this is what you're gonna see. You're gonna say state and set state. But yeah, you can name these like for this one, we're gonna put this in the input. We're gonna attach this to the input component on change.
Okay.
And now that's how we're going to set our state. And then the other way is we're going to use the state in a value. Sorry, I kind of like did it a little bit backwards. Like, okay, so just delete that on change, first of all. Let's just get this going. So write value. We want to set the value for this input, and that's equal to state. And you got to use not bracket, the other one. Curly braces.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's a variable. So anything inside of a variable, like we just wrap it in curly braces. And now, like if you put like inside of the use state hook, you set inside the use state hook a default value. So you can just write like hi or whatever or roar coders.
Okay. We'll do roar coders.
And now if you open the page, you should see that the state value is your value. There you go.
Nice.
But now you can't change it. So that's where we got to do the second part. So we got to hook up this state, this set state to our input component, and that's on the onChange attribute or onChange event handler, I should say. So
okay.
Yeah, just go to the event and write onChange. And now equal to open curly braces. And then inside, you're going to write a function. So just use the arrow syntax. You can one-line it. It's cool. And the first parameter or argument is E or event, because this is an event. Inside of the yeah, there you go. And then you're doing good, man. You're doing great. And then you're gonna write set state.
Okay.
And then this is gonna update the state. So this is a function. This is a function that takes in your new state. So your new state is e.targetValue.
Okay.
So basically, this is just taking in the value of your input and setting it as the state of this use state hook.
I see.
And it's e.target.value. I'm sorry.
That's all good.
There you go. So now if you save this and go and type,
Nice.
you can change. And I don't know if you probably don't, because you're not like doing a lot of front end stuff, but there's like there's a extension called like React Profiler, and like in that React developer tool, and like inside there you can actually see the state of your React application. So like you would see like whatever you put in there, whatever you deleted, like that's the state now for that use state hook.
I see. Yep.
So now like yeah, you could also like inside of that. So the other way, like the other way that is convention is to write like a handler. So you just write like on change handler, and then like you just drop that function inside that on change instead of like writing it out on the line. But we can do that like for the form. So so now what we need is well, actually, why don't we do this too so we don't trip ourselves up? So just change the names of these like state and set state to like whatever you want, like input and set input, right?
Okay. Put it as message.
Sure. That's yeah. And then just update them in the. There you go. So yeah, you can rename these. There you go. And now what we want to do is hook up our form to an on submit event.
Okay.
So for this, we can write a function above the return method called like, usually the convention is to say like handle submit.
Let's see.
Or and then this is going to take in an event too, because we want to prevent the submission of the form. So prevent default, because otherwise, like by default, like the browser will try to submit this form and refresh the page.
I see. Okay.
Which totally defeats the purpose of having a React application or any SPA.
Yeah.
I think. I can't speak for the other like frameworks actually, so I can't say that. But yeah, it's prevent default.
Is it?
The default is capitalized. There you go. Camel case. And then just call it. You got to call it. Call prevent default. It's a method.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I see.
All right. And so, and then on that handle, so like, why don't we just do this to start, which is on the line below, just console log the state or your message rather, like, which is the current state, right, of this input field. All right. And now you just need to hook up this handle submit function to your form.
Click.
Actually, with the type submit on the button, it automatically knows to submit the form.
Oh well. Okay.
So on your form component, just write on submit. Attach it on your form component.
Oh, okay. Like yeah.
Yep. And then add a on submit event handler, and then just curly braces, and just drop in your handle submit. And you don't need to call it because it's automatically invoked. And now if you go to the application, and you just start typing different stuff in your input there, you're going to see it logged out once you hit submit.
Cool.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so what we want to do, like eventually with this on submit handler, is basically like send that message right to pusher, like endpoint. So like that's something like we can implement later.
Mhm.
The other thing is, yeah. So I think next we want to set up another piece of state called messages or something, or like chat messages. And
Okay.
like this would the purpose of this piece of state would be to take in and set the messages that we're receiving from the listener, which is from pusher. Because like if we're gonna get in, we're gonna set up a subscriber, right, to this endpoint that's gonna be listening for messages in the background, right? It's a WebSocket. It's basically just WebSockets, right? So like,
Yeah.
when something comes in, like we want to add this to our messages, like chat messages state, and then that's going to be rendered on the page. So like, that's why like you have this div name display. I think you mean like class name display or whatever. I don't care a name. It doesn't matter to me. But like inside there, like we would render out all the messages that we're receiving and sending.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. Yeah, I get what you mean.
So yeah, just set up another piece of state and call it whatever you want.
Could want an array here, I assume?
Yep, that's right. So for like just mocking this out, why don't we just like above the function app, why don't we just make some like dummy data? We're definitely not gonna finish.
That's good, man. Like we should definitely continue it.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys aren't working on other stuff in the future and you want to do this, like we can keep working on it.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
So the messages would be like an array, right? And then inside it's an array of objects with all our messages.
Okay.
So like one thing we need is just like an ID, of course.
Okay.
Like the message ID. And then we can call it 1 or 2, whatever. I don't care. Or you can use random. We're just like mocking it out.
Do we need a value as well? Is it?
Sure, value like the message. So this would be the text for the message.
Okay.
I forget what these would actually be called from the API, but like we can change it easily later. And then maybe we want like one more thing or two more things actually. And they're optional, but like maybe we would want a timestamp. And maybe we would also want yeah, you could just put like new date or whatever is in JavaScript. I think it's a new two. It's the new keyword and then space date. Like it's an object.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's not a, and then you call it. It's a It's a method. There you go. And then we maybe would want the username.
Okay.
And then I think that's like what you would need for a super basic chat application. You don't even need the timestamp necessarily, but like, or the username, but like, it's good to know like who's sending stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, why don't we just like copy that one real quickly and we'll just make 2 messages and then we'll just render them on the page.
Okay.
And just like change the values a little bit. I love roar coders. Okay, so take the messages variable and drop it into your state, but just delete the empty array. Yeah, there you go. All right, so now what we're gonna do is use another well, actually, let's just render this out first since we just have mock data. But like,
Okay.
so the way, if you have an array of data, do you remember how to handle it to render out every like render out like different components
Do we
like
use
from
a
that array, or not
for
different but
each
the same?
or
Actually,
is it
use map.
map? Okay.
So you're gonna map over that array of objects, and then inside there, you're just creating creating a component. Like it can be, it can be like a whole page component, or it can just be like a div and a message inside, and then closing div. That's it. So
Okay.
like what we would be rendering here is just basically like, we have some text that we want to display, like username, right? Or the message. So
don't quite remember, man. Is it messages?
so the first thing you want to do is because you're writing you're writing like variables, you're writing function, is you want to wrap it in curly braces. Like that's JSX.
Okay.
So like in JSX, yeah, like if you're down here in the return where you're like actually rendering things, you're gonna wrap it in curly braces.
Okay.
And then you just want to dot map and then map over the different items in that array.
We had HT, or we had some JSX in here, right?
You will, yeah. You'll have this like you can actually like one line it right now if you want for fun, or you can write like you would write return.
Okay.
And then you don't use curly braces. You actually use parentheses to render a component.
Okay.
That's the syntax. So
see.
inside here, you would write out, you're like paragraph. This is a message paragraph, right?
Okay.
And then inside there, you got to wrap it again. Like so, anything inside you want to put like sure, you like that's fine. There you go.
You mean like this?
Yep, exactly. The only thing you're forgetting is like in the map callback, the map function, like you need to like put a callback. So or not a callback. Like you need a callback parameter, whatever parameter. So like item or message. Maybe you already used message.
I see. Okay.
Chat message. Usually I just take the name that was plural and just use its singular version, and then arrow functions, fine. But you will need I think you might need curly braces now because you broke the line. Yeah, now you just gotta wrap it. Yeah, I don't know. There's some syntax problem. What is the linter telling you?
What is the what string? This one?
Oh, I just meant like, what is ESLint saying?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the problem? Maybe it doesn't like your empty curly braces inside the message.
This one?
Yeah, inside the paragraph. No. Let's see. Closing. Close the curly brace. Oh, you're missing so it's close curly brace, then close parentheses, then close curly brace. Or maybe you already had that.
True. No, you're right.
This happens to me all the time. All right, so now you've mapped out those mock messages. They should be displayed on the page.
Nice. Okay, we'll just leave this for now.
Whoa, amazing. The other way too is like you don't have to use the braces from the arrow function, but sometimes like I'm gonna like destructure the object like up there because it's easier for me.
Mm-hmm.
But like anything you want to return as a component, like in JSX, you have to wrap it in closing like complementary parentheses there. Like that's the distinction for JSX. So
Okay.
like that happens. That happened to me so much in the beginning. Like I'm like forget to use like parentheses. So that's like basically the whole idea here. And like, yeah, if you wanted to, like you can add some extra stuff to this component. Like you could write like span, and then like the username, so it's like inlined or whatever. But like this is like the basic structure of the React, like whatever, the HTML. So next, whenever you're done. That's gonna make it look way better. I agree with that, dude. That was a good choice.
Okay. I can't tell you being sarcastic.
No, like now it's like you can tell like who wrote what.
Yeah.
I like that. That was a good feature you added. So the next and last thing we need to do is add another hook, which is like the second most common hook, which is a use effect hook, which I think we imported.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so do you remember how to write a use effect hook? Or what it does?
Doesn't it render at the start of when the page loads, and then you write it in a similar way?
That's one thing it does. The use effect hook is like the second most commonly used hook, as I said. Like use state is pretty self-explanatory because you're just like adding state to your application, and it doesn't. It's not destroyed like when React re-renders, right? So like use effect is this hook that allows you to allow side effects. That's basically why it's called use effect. So so it's this function that you're gonna add like dependencies to. So there's like, let's just write it out, and then it's a little bit easier to explain.
Okay.
As you're like writing it out. So you don't like This isn't like use state or other types of hooks. Yeah, you actually just like call this one. And then inside of it, you're calling another arrow function or an arrow function.
Okay.
Just call an arrow function. It doesn't take, so this one doesn't take, as far as I know, and I would be surprised to learn if it did take in any parameters or arguments, but it doesn't. What? And then so like the last argument, you're gonna write a comma, and this is like other types of, like, I don't know, like not use reducer, like reducer method in JavaScript, or like other array methods. Like you can add that dependency array. So like this dependency array is like the piece of state. Usually it's almost usually state or something else, but almost always commonly state. So whatever you put inside that dependency, it's going to tell React like when it should run this use effect hook. And actually a lot of hooks, like there's some other ones called use callback and use memo. They also have a dependency array, and those basically have the same idea, where like they're only gonna like be run if whatever is in your dependency has now changed. So in this context, like if we have chat messages as our dependency, right? Or message for that matter. Actually, let's make it message for this example, because we're definitely not going to finish. So like this use effect is going to hook, is going to run whenever message changes.
Okay.
And then that's it's not going to trigger a re-render. It's only going to trigger a re-render if you set the state to something else. So like in this example, we could just say use effect, and then we can append like another object to our set chat messages, like from the input, which isn't what we would necessarily do for this application, but like for demonstration purposes, like we can just see like, hey, I'm going to type some stuff in an input, hit submit, and then it's going to add like a new message to the chat.
I see. Okay. You mean like append the array or the chat messages array? Sorry.
Yeah. So the first thing you should know though is that use effect is going to run even on the first render of the page. So if you try to put in a message and it's empty, then it's not going to do anything. So like you can write conditionals like above it to say like return out of this use effect hook if there's no message.
Okay. Was there was something, I don't remember, but maybe you do, Torey, but wasn't there like it was like you add like 3 dots and then you go
spread operator?
Yeah. And then
well, you do that inside the set state method function.
Okay.
Because in React I mean, that's just like JavaScript, like spread syntax. But like, so the first thing you want to do is like, we don't have a message, so we don't want to set any state and cause a re-render. It's pointless, and it's so like the first thing you want to do is just say if there's no message, just return.
Okay. That right? What I described won't help us for this issue. What I just said, am I mistaken what it does? This one.
Well, yeah, we'll get there. Like you
Okay.
almost got it. You almost got it.
Okay.
And actually, if you want to do that, you can just like get rid of the curly braces. But it's just like simpler syntax. I'm lazy.
Rid of
But
this.
it's totally up to you. Like, yeah, you
But
can
make
just
it
get rid of that. You can
one
bring
line.
up the return. Yep.
Um,
I just I do that because I'm lazy. So now, like, if there isn't a message, this effect is just going to exit. And if there is a message, then we can set the state and add this current message to our chat messages, right?
yeah.
So this set state part of the hook for use state is for objects and arrays, like, well, for arrays in particular, like, yeah, one common way is just use the spread syntax.
Okay.
But because like the messages object or like the ID, the value, the timestamp, the username, like you need to add that like
Okay.
to this message, right? So like just before you set it, just create an object like that you're gonna pass in to set messages with the ID, the value, the date, the username. In the use effect, just do it in the use effect.
In here.
Yep. Anything you put outside of a hook in React is gonna be wiped clean. Like every render, it's gone.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so if you write let message and then like React re-renders, like that message is gone. Like React doesn't know about it. It doesn't keep it around. That's why we have the use state hook. Like it persists on renders.
Okay.
I hope this is a good primer. Well, this helps me a lot because tomorrow I'm gonna have to be talking about this like for like a good 2 hours. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you doing this.
That's all good, man. Yeah. Hopefully that goes well for you.
Thank you. Finish. So the one thing is for your value, just set that equal to your message. Because we're just gonna take what you submit on your form and pass that in. There you go. Because your message is your state here. And now in your set state function or set message function. I mean set state. Your set message function.
Yeah.
So call it. Yeah, just call it. And now like make it it's an array. So you can either you can do that spread syntax if you want. Like that's definitely one way to do it. So you can write like you can write do I have to yeah, you can just write open braces, right?
You mean outside?
No, inside. Because you're gonna whatever you put inside of the set state function, that's gonna update your state to be this new state.
Okay.
So now you're not gonna have any state. Like if you go back to the page, it's gonna be gone. Like let's just try it for fun. Like send a message, submit it.
Yeah, it doesn't allow you.
Oh, that's funny.
It's meant to happen, right? Because
I can't remember. I can't remember like what we wrote there, but like I thought it would clear the array. You know why? There's some. Oh, it's angry at you because you're like changing the messages and then updating. Huh. Wait, there's some loop running. Let's go back. Like there's some bug we wrote. Set message. Oh, we want to set the chat messages, not the actual message.
Yeah,
That's why you're getting that loop, because it's like, hey, I'm updating the. That's like React like novice stuff. Like you write a piece of state that is like, or you put in a piece of state that's a dependency, and then you're setting the state inside there, and then it just keeps like re-rendering. That's how you make an infinite loop in React, like the easy way.
I see. Oh, yeah, I see what was happening now because we have this dependency, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you got it, man, for sure. So now, like, if you did this, like, you would clear all the messages because it's empty. But like, what you want to do is, yeah, see, it's gone, right? It's already gone.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is take your old messages, your chat messages, sorry, your old chat, spread them out with the spread operator, and then comma, and then add your new example message object. I think you gotta use the spread operator though. The spread operator is ... For both.
Okay.
Because that's just syntax in JavaScript for how you it's just shorthand for how you what's the word, concatenate array.
I see.
That's all it's doing. You could do the same thing with like concat method, but then you'd be exposed for being like super old school.
I see. Okay, cool. Let's check this out.
Now, if we did everything right, if you write a message and hit submit, you should see that message pop up. Oh, whoops. Don't spread out the object. My bad.
The first one?
The second one. Because the second one is the object.
Oh, yeah.
You could also just wrap it in an array and then it would work, but no need. See? Wow, okay, already showed up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, because it's on change. That's why.
Change.
So anytime you type in that input, it's updating that piece of state, which is the message, right? So that's why you're spamming it.
Yeah.
So like the other way to do it would be like whenever we hit submit on the form, and like inside that handle submit, it's then gonna set the message, right? Instead of having this on change.
We should put this in here then, in that case, right?
Well, that's the chat message. Well, you could do that. Like I was thinking about how we would do it if we're actually building the application, like getting there. But like, if you want, there's another way to get the value from the input field on the form without introducing like extra complexity.
Okay.
And that is with another hook. That's what I'm gonna reach for. Like, it's called use ref. So like, we'll learn some good stuff today. Like these are like the 3 hooks I use the most.
Okay.
So this.
I was just wondering, did you want to call it there, man?
Oh wow, yeah. Let's call it a day.
Yeah, let's call it there. And we can pick this up. Maybe I don't know, whenever we're not doing Scrambler enhancement.
Like the name.
But yeah, it's been really good, I think, today. I got to use React after a while. How did you like it, Torey?
What? The
Session today?
exercise?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
exercise.
man. I hope like it was a good like refresher on basic React stuff.
Mhm.
But like 90% of React is this. Honestly, like once you get your hands, once you get used to doing all this stuff, like these patterns, like that's pretty much like the core competencies in React. Honestly.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I need to get some practice on this, I think. But anyways, it's been a good session, I think.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
That's all good. It's been a pleasure. All right, thanks everyone. Thanks for watching. Yeah, today we worked on the chat messaging app that Torey guided me through, and depending on what we do next, maybe we'll go back to Scrambler or we'll continue this. But yeah, it's been really good either way. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you on Thursday, same time, same place, and different task perhaps. All right, thanks everyone. See you later.
Thank you. Thanks, Dinesh. Have a good night.
You too, Torey. Good luck tomorrow as well.
Thank you. I'll let you guys know.
Cool. Yeah, for sure.
Or if you don't hear from me, that means I'm sad.
Let us know either way, man. But I'm sure you'll do it.
I will. Thank you. Thanks. Have a good night.
Okay.
Take care.
Have a good night, Jeff. See you later.
Bye.